You've made some pretty specific allegations about what Russia's doing with mercenaries, etc., in your country. What exactly are you telling your allies here about that in detail, what the Russians are doing, and how does it compare to what they've been doing in Ukraine since 2014?
If you look at the model that Russia has used in invading parts of Ukraine in 2014, that's exactly the model that Serbia has been trying to use in the Western Balkans, but particularly in Kosovo for the past couple of months. So they abuse minority communities, they try to create false flag operations, they build trenches within our territory, they bring in paramilitary forces that are dressed in civilians within our territory through illegal routes, and then they send them weapons, and they also send them green uniforms without insignia, so that it doesn't look like a traditional military attack. But in fact, they do prepare a lot of hybrid attacks, which is a mix of what these paramilitary forces do in northern Kosovo. We shouldn't be talking about these kind of things when it becomes too late. It's very important for me as president of a country to inform our allies what exactly is happening in the ground, and then not to end up after a couple of years sitting at the negotiation table and say, oh, this is the factual situation in the ground, so let's talk about what piece of your territory we should give to Serbia. Genocidal regimes should not be awarded with territory.
I mean, broadening it away from not just Kosovo, but Moldova, other countries, what is Vladimir Putin up to, do you think? What's he planning to do away from Ukraine? We've heard about accusations he may be trying to widen the conflict. What's his game here?
The unity that the transatlantic community has shown when it comes to Ukraine obviously doesn't go in Russia's interest. So I believe that what he's trying to do is to divert the attention of the West away from Ukraine. The way how he would be able to do that is create other conflicts in Europe. Whether we're talking about Moldova or Georgia or the Western Balkans, it would go towards Russia's interest to make sure that the attention of the West is kind of everywhere, instead of just focused on Ukraine, which rightly is right now. So that's what they're trying to do, which is why we need to prevent them together from doing exactly that.
And is that threat being taken seriously here, do you think?
Look, sometimes we feel just like when Poland and the Baltics were warning that this is exactly what's going to happen many, many years ago, that Russia's going to go with a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, and not just Ukraine, because they see other neighbors as temporary states. They were not being listened to. And sometimes when we speak up, when Bosnia speaks up, when Montenegro speaks up about this big danger that needs to be prevented now before it becomes too late, we feel exactly like the Baltics and Poland many years ago. So this is not just about Kosovo. Someone should not think, oh, it's a tiny country, why should we look at that? Why should we be worried? It's about all of us, the same way that Ukraine today is about all of us. Instability in one country in Europe means instability in all. So having a peaceful Western Balkans is a contribution towards a Europe whole, free, and at peace. It's a contribution for a peaceful life for citizens living in the UK or living in, let's say, in Poland or somewhere else. So that's why working together in this is so crucial. Unity in protecting the Western Balkans from these malign influences is as key as unity in Ukraine is today.
And finally, your thoughts for the year ahead. We've had a terrible year. Do you think the worst is over in Ukraine?
When I say we, I, of course, mainly mean the strongest countries in terms of military capabilities do not give Ukraine the kind of help that they need, the war will continue. But when I say the war will continue, I don't mean just Ukraine. Russia will be encouraged to attack others as well, mostly their first neighbors. But the war needs to end with Ukraine winning. That's the only end. Otherwise, it's just a continuation or a postponement, as we have seen from the 2014 events.